53 years ago, on March 31, 1972, the Soviet Union launched a rocket into outer space. And it was supposed to get to Venus. That's what was supposed to happen, get to Venus. But there was some technical problem, and as a result, the rocket could never get out of the Earth's atmosphere, and it never made it to Venus. And the Soviet Union called this ill-fated rocket Cosmos 482. And in Soviet lexicon, Cosmos 482 was synonymous with epic, colossal failure. It was supposed to get to Venus, and instead it wandered, it orbited around the Earth for 53 years. But over the course of its orbital wandering, it ended up losing height gradually. So that last Shabbos, Cosmos 482 finally found rest. And on May 10th, it fell after 53 years of orbital wandering harmlessly into the Indian Ocean, causing no damage to people or property. Now, I am not a space person. I never follow stuff from NASA. But when I heard this crazy story, I said to myself, there is a sermon in that. Because I've got news for you, folks. We are all Cosmos 482. Cosmos 482 was supposed to get to Venus. Instead, it wandered the Earth for 53 years. And every one of us here can say, I was supposed to, ... Instead, I'm ... I was supposed to be married by now. Instead, I'm still single. One bad date after another. We were supposed to have started our family by now. Instead, we're just on a long and winding and painful and endless fertility journey. I was supposed to be launched professionally by now. I thought by now I'd have a job, I could do good and do well. Instead, I'm in between jobs, from job to job, and now no job. I was supposed to be retiring by now. Instead, I looked at my 401k and I'm not retiring. I really was supposed to enjoy good health until my 90s. After all, 60 is the new 40. After all, I know a ton of people in their 90s and they're so active. And I earned it. I eat right. I drink moderately. I exercise every day. I get plenty of sleep. Instead, I'm in the midst of a medical situation. Every one of us can say what happened to Cosmos 482. I was supposed to, instead I'm. And when that happens, what happens are the 3 F's. 3 F's happen. The first F is forever. It feels like I'm in this bad place forever. I've been on one bad date after another forever. We've had one failed fertility treatment after another forever. Had one job that didn't work out after another. It's forever. My husband's been dealing with what he's been dealing with. My wife's been dealing with what she's been dealing with. I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with medically. Hospitals. forever. Ugh! And when that happens, we're in a bad place, what feels like forever. That leads to the second F, which is frustration. After all, it's very easy to get up in the morning and to have a good energy about your day when everything is working out right. And it's much harder to get up in the morning with a good energy when it's not. And it's even harder to get up in the morning with a good energy when you can't even remember the last time it was working out right. When days become weeks, become months, become years, I can't even remember things not working out right. That leads to the second F. Forever leads to frustration. And that leads to the third F, which is friction. Often when we're not happy, we take out our unhappiness on others. We radiate friction into the world because we're not happy. Remember once I was doing a meditation exercise, and the yogi who was teaching the meditation said, hey, if it ever happens that you're going about your day and somebody does something that is hard and harsh and mean-spirited, and you want to get angry and you want to fight back, very often they're acting in hurtful ways because they are themselves hurting. So how do we experience frustration for what seems like forever without enacting our pain, our friction on other people? So Cosmos 482 didn't orbit the Earth forever. It ended up coming home after 53 years. And we come home. And here's what coming home means. When we've been dealing with something painful forever, few questions to ask ourselves. What did we learn? How did we grow? And how can we emerge from this stronger? What did we learn? How can we grow? How do we emerge from this stronger? And there's Jewish language and biblical language for this. The way you say Cosmos 482 in the Hebrew Bible, the way you say Cosmos 482 with Jewish values language is Bamidbar, in the wilderness. The Israelites wandered in the wilderness for 40 years. And you know the stories from the Torah. It's hot, it's dry, it's endless, they're hungry, they're thirsty. There's no food, there's no water. They're mumbling, they're grumbling, they're complaining, they're rebelling. And yet, when the prophet Jeremiah thinks about this, he recasts it, he reframes it, and it has a rosy hue. He says that we were a young bride, the Jewish people were a young bride, and we followed God, our lover, into kind of a honeymoon land, the desert. Why does he recast? Because Jeremiah is facing a generation that had been doubly traumatized. They saw the first temple destroyed, and they were exiled, and he says to them, we've been there before, we could survive then, we can survive now. And so here's our question. When you're in the middle of your wilderness wandering, and when you're in the middle of your Cosmos 482 orbiting, a single question from the prophet Jeremiah. How will you emerge from this stronger? How will you come home? By emerging from this stronger. And I have seen with my own eyes the power of this in so many ways. Let me give you so many examples. Next weekend, our 42-year-old niece who had never been married before is getting married for the first time. She had been the bridesmaid at every other friend's wedding. She had danced at every other friend's wedding. And she had never danced at her own wedding, and she wondered, will my day ever come? And at the end of the summer, our 42-year-old nephew, who had never been married before, is getting married. He was a groomsman at everybody's wedding, and he danced at everybody's wedding, and he wondered, would I ever get married myself? It ain't over till it's over, and it's never too late, and they gain strength from their time in the wilderness, and now they're both going to be standing under the chuppah. Here's another place where I see this all the time, just all the time. Couple is married for a good long time. Two partners who walk hand in hand and shoulder to shoulder together through the years, and they're happy and they're healthy and it's a blessing and it's beautiful. And then one of the partners takes ill, and the other partner becomes this amazing caregiver. And they say the character is what happens when nobody is looking. And there's a lot of character because when nobody is looking, the partner is totally there and present for their partner who is taken ill. And then eventually the partner who took ill dies, and the living partner wonders and worries, and the children wonder and worry, what will be? And here's the answer I have seen with my own eyes time and again. After the long marriage, after the faithful caregiving chapter, the surviving spouse lives again with great joy and blessing. They travel, they take classes, they teach classes, they learn new skills, they make new friends, they deepen relationships with old friends. They're even more present as parents and grandparents and great-grandparents. They live again. How did that happen? It's the strength that they got when they were in the wilderness. And I see this so often in so many ways. They lose a job. They don't just lose a job. They lose a career. They don't have a field. And then somehow they reinvent themselves and they have a new job and a new field and they find great meaning in it. They lose their health and they fight for their health. And they live with greater energy and gusto and intensity. There's just like healing from something, gives you an extra oomph. It amps up. Oh my God, what a blessing it is to be alive. They have a break in a relationship with somebody. They have a falling out. And then they realize, oh my God, there is 1 billion people in the world. It's a cold world. There's 1 billion people who don't care about me. We have each other. We're what we have, and they come together. And I have seen so many people who have been dark for so long. They've been in a dark place for so long that, as Harold Kushner used to say, quoting Khalil Gibran, I'm going to turn my back on the sun. And for me, the sun will be nothing more than the caster of shadows. And then even that person learns to live again and to love again and to feel the light of the sun again. All of us are Cosmos 482. None of us ever makes it to Venus. But all of us can find our way home. I was supposed to, instead, I am thriving in a whole different way. It's not the life I thought I would live, but oh my God, this life is just so deeply beautiful, just as it is. Shabbat Shalom.